Alright, I'm back with another recording. It is almost 10 in the morning, so it's bright and early. And when I mean bright, it is really bright. Because once again, I got blinded when I woke up. Like, seriously, it was that sunny outside. It is day 27 of this challenge, in which we're obviously going to get a lot more done than from when I did the challenge the first time. Because you guys don't know, when I got to day 27, nothing happened on that day. Because I was traveling down here to Florida, where I am now. And it was to see family for Christmas break. And the rest of the challenge ended up taking place in Florida. But for this redemption, day 27, we're actually gonna get something done. So before we start getting any of the drops in Summers, we have to progress some story. Because I want to get the final party member on our team. Right, we have to talk to this guy. I forgot which one it was. I think it's this door. Yeah, it's this door. So yeah, talk to this guy because you need to go inside the place in Summers called the Stoic Club. And this guy will give you the number to call the Stoic Club so that you can get inside. And then Jeff's friend Tony from all the way back in Winters, he wants my name. So I'm gonna put in my name. Also, you guys are actual idiots if you thought I was gonna put my actual name. Well, I have said my actual name a few times on this channel, but not often. So I'm just gonna use my YouTube name. So yeah, he has our name now. Well, my name, but still. Right, now we have to use a phone to call the Stoic Club. Right, so now we can go inside the Stoic Club. And the reason why we have to do this is because that guy that we have to talk to earlier, he has a wife in here that will not wake up from delusional sayings. Right, we have to talk to this guy first. And this ends up being the guy from earlier's wife. So yeah, then she tells us to stop by her cart so that we can eat some magic cake. And the magic cake is an actual food. because once we start eating it, Ness and his friends start feeling weird. And they start hallucinating. And then Ness starts having a dream. In which it's not a dream, it is 100% real. So yeah, this is the home of the fourth and final party member of the game, which is Pooh. And yes, his name is actually Pooh. Who at Nintendo gave him that name? Like, they could have come up with literally anything else, but they chose Pooh. So yeah, Pooh's home is called Dalam. And there's Pooh. And he's actually the Prince of Dalam. Because by his people, he's constantly referred to as Prince Pooh. And Pooh's master tells us that we have to do Moo training. Because we can't progress the story until we have done the Moo training. And just like Summers, I also love the music here in Dalam. And also, you would think that Dalam is just a really tall mountain that just goes above the clouds. But nope, it turns out Dalam is just completely floating in the air. I didn't know this was Avatar. Like, seriously, this makes it look like I'm in Avatar or something. We're gonna take all the stuff we can need. Well, we can get, I meant. And Pooh is a lot different from the other three party members. Because unlike Ness, Paula, and Jeff, Pooh doesn't like Eagle Land food. Meaning he doesn't eat stuff like hamburgers. And doesn't drink stuff like protein drinks. Nope, he can only drink bottles of water. And he only likes food that's from his country, which is Dalam. And I lied about that, because he doesn't even like that. Yeah, you see this bowl of rice gruel? This is Dalam food. He doesn't even like to eat that. So you might be saying, what does Pooh eat? Well, Pooh can only eat these things in the game that are really hard to obtain in the overworld or are very expensive here in Dalam, which is a food item called a brain food lunch. Yep, he can only eat those. Because of course, it just has to be an item that's hard to get. Like, seriously, it's really difficult to get a lot of brain food lunches. They're really expensive. Alright, so then we have to talk to this person called the Star Master. And he tells Pooh that he will train him something later in the game. So we have to go up here to do the Moo training, which is one of the scariest parts of this entire game. Like, I'd argue that this part is scarier than fighting Gygus. So it starts playing this really creepy music. And we have to not touch the controller for a few seconds to activate the Moo training. And then there's the spirit. He says he is the ancient spirit of Pooh's lineage. And Pooh has to go through he has to go through massive amounts of pain to finish the mood training. Because the spirit says he's gonna start off by breaking Pooh's legs. Like, how is this game rated for kids again? Dude, he's literally saying he's gonna tear off our body parts. So now he's gonna tear off Pooh's arms, making him completely limbless, if that's even a word. He's now gonna cut Pooh's ears off so that we can't hear anything. So now, because we can't hear, the music stops playing and it's just silence. Now he's gonna take away Pooh's eye sockets. So we're completely blind now. And now he's gonna take Pooh's brain, the only thing left of his consciousness. So he takes Pooh's brain. And it turns out all of that was just a hallucination. Or maybe it was like mental pain or something. I don't know. It's never explained anywhere. Right, so Pooh has finished with his mood training. So now Pooh can go back to talk to his master. Since we are done. Oh yeah, and there's no enemies in Dalam, so there's no drops to get here. So don't worry. So yeah, talk to his master. And then his master will tell Pooh something. He says that Pooh is one of the chosen ones. You know, from the Apple of Enlightenment. The Apple of Enlightenment says that Pooh is one of the boys that will destroy Gaius. And he tells Pooh that Ness is the leader of the party, and he has to go find him. And then Pooh gets leveled up. And we unlock a bunch of PSI. And Pooh is basically Ness and Paula combined. Because he can use a bunch of moves that Paula has. And then Pooh also has his own special move, just like Ness. So yeah, Pooh unlocks Teleport Beta, and then Pooh teleports to Summers, and he finds the party. Alright, that's it. We have the fourth and final party member. You have a full team. So yeah, Pooh is already level 18. And he has just as much health as Paula, which is good. And dude, Pooh is already decked out on PSI. He has Freeze, Thunder, Life Up, Healing, Shield, Teleport. Oh yeah, but Pooh's shields are not the same as Paula's shields. Because Pooh's shields is just a shield of light. Or power shield, which blocks physical attacks. But Paula's shields just block PSI attacks. Alright. Alright, I want to gear up the party. Oh yeah, and Pooh can't equip the items that Ness, Paula, and Jeff can equip. Because he has his own set of defense items. Which are only found throughout certain parts of the game. Like, if you want to have a complete set for Pooh, you have to actually go out of your way to find his items in the overworld, which I think is pretty good. That's a pretty cool gimmick. And Pooh doesn't even have a weapon. The only weapon he can equip is the Sword of Kings, which is a weapon that's very difficult to obtain in the game. Like, it's one of the hardest items to obtain in the whole game. But let's go shopping. So we have to sell a bunch of stuff. And this is exactly what I meant yesterday by saying you will go broke in summers. Like, dude, the items in the shop cost thousands of dollars in the summer shop. Like, dude. Right. We're getting Ness's new weapon, the Big League Bat. I don't even have enough money. Alright, let's see how much money I have. 47,000. Watch most of that be gone by the time I'm done shopping. Alright, get a lucky coin for Ness, Paula, and Jeff. And then Ness and Jeff need platinum bands. Bro, my money is getting depleted, man. Like, dude, this is... The summer shop should be considered burglary. Like, these prices are a scam, man. Bro, this is a scam. Alright. And now we have a lucky coin for all the party members. And now we have to get platinum bands for Ness and Jeff. Please tell me that's enough. I'm only a few $100s off. Man. Alright, Jeff has a platinum band now. Oh, you're joking. Bro, I'm only a few dollars off. All right, we're fully geared up. Now keep in mind, I started shopping with $47,000. I only have 19,000 now. See, I'm telling you, man, you will go broke in summers. Now, poo. You know an item is meant for poo if the piece of equipment says "of kings" in the name. So yeah, but they're only found in specific parts of the overworld. So make sure to check presents constantly from now on if you want a complete set for poo. Alright, now we can finally start getting ready to do the drops. Because there's 3 drops to get here in Summers. There's the Overzealous Cop, which has a 4 in 120 chance of dropping a double burger. There's the Shattered Man, which has a 64 in 120 chance of dropping a mummy wrap. And then finally the Tough Guy, which has a 32 in 120 chance of dropping a chick. Now, bad news about some of these enemies. The Shattered Man is not a permanent enemy. You can only fight 2 of them in the entire game. And once those 2 are killed, they're gone for good. They don't spawn ever again. But thankfully, they do have a high drop rate, so it's likely that we get their drop before we have to reset. And then the biggest issue here, the Overzealous Cop. The Overzealous Cop is the rarest enemy in EarthBound. I can't stress this enough to you guys. The Overzealous Cop is said to be so insanely rare of a spawn to the point where you can go play this game multiple times. Yes, that's right, multiple times without seeing one of them. So, we might as well get started on the enemies down here, since the first 2 enemies spawn here on the beach of Summers. But, they're both rare spawns. They don't really spawn that often. So, what I like to do is just walk back and forth to see if one spawns. And if we see one of the enemies spawn, we fight it instantly. Oh, there's the Tough Guy. Wait, do I even need to use a save state? You know, I'm gonna use one just in case. Alright. We have the Tough Guy singled out. We have the save state. Now, it is very likely we get this guy's drop on the first try. But then, luck can determine anything. Alright, the Tough Guy really isn't that bad to fight. Really, the only thing you gotta watch out for is the punching from this guy. because he literally can't do anything else besides just punching you. Yep, we didn't get it on the first try. Oh yeah, and for the rest of chapter 5, this will be a perfect opportunity to level Pooh up, because he's pretty weak right now. Okay, seriously, he only does 1 damage to this guy. Yeah, just like Ness and Jeff, once Pooh is leveled up enough to the point where he's right around Paula or Jeff's level, Pooh is going to become an absolute monster. Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure he can do just as much damage as Jeff or Ness without a weapon, because that's Pooh's specialty. The fact that he has an insane amount of offense. Because the game expects you to play the game without ever getting Pooh's weapon. Because he's so strong that he doesn't really need a weapon. And then again, if you do want the Sword of Kings, there is that option. But keep in mind, the Sword of Kings is very difficult to get. And we don't even get to find Pooh's weapon until late game. Well, really, that goes for all of the ultimate equipment. Okay, bro, it's a 32 in 128 chance, man. I can't be that unlucky. Alright, once I get the tough guys drop, I'm gonna save the game, because this recording is getting long enough. Come on. Okay. It's a 32 in 128 chance. How am I that unlucky? And keep in mind, a 32 in 120 chance is one of the highest odds for an enemy drop. And I'm getting unlucky with it. I'm getting unlucky with it. Okay, man. Now the game is just trolling with me. Yes! We got it. The tough guys drop. The chick. Finally. Right, that's the first drop of Summers, as well as Chapter 5. Well, that Matt taxi is stuck inside of a truck. Alright, we're gonna sell the chick. Bro, that's a scam. I only get $12 from that? Bro, what do you mean? Dude, Summers is an actual scam. Alright, we're saving the game. And we're gonna do the other 2 drops of Summers later. Because this recording is getting long enough. And on top of that, I just want to mentally prepare myself for the overzealous cop. Because I'm not even joking. You can actually go multiple playthroughs of this game without seeing one of those guys. They are that rare of a spawn. But I'm just gonna go ahead and end the recording so I can get this and the edited version out.